use the Good evening, everybody. Saturday, 8 o'clock. Posh are playing tomorrow, Sunday, 12 o'clock, and Sunday, 3 o'clock. We are going to preview both the men's and women's fixtures tonight. A quick shout out, first and foremost. If anybody has any spare tickets, please drop me a DM. I have got people that are after them. So if you are looking to get rid of them because you don't want to brave the -4, drop me a DM because I will take them off your hands very quickly. Lods, good evening. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. Believe it or not, this is my first time on Countdown to Kickoff. I'm breaking my CTK virginity. I'm actually looking forward to the fixtures going back to normal. I think tomorrow's fixture is like the last of the Christmas run, I'd say. And then getting back to normal after that. I've been fortunate enough to have 2 weeks off work, but I am getting sick of waking up at 11 in the morning and having chocolate for breakfast. So that's where I'm at right now.
Yeah, it's going to be nice, isn't it? We sort of go back to Saturday, then I think it's Tuesday, Saturday. So it's been relentless, hasn't it? I'm sure the players feel the same way. But it's been a relentless and successful December into January for Posh. But let's not keep everyone hanging. Let's bring in Jake, who has been on the show before. Jake, good evening. How are you?
I'm very good, unsurprisingly, given the form that Lincoln City are in at the moment and the position we're in the league. But yes, I'm good, mate. Looking forward to a wonderful day's football with you wonderful chaps tomorrow. So, yeah, looking forward to telling you all about Lincoln, or gloating, as you seem to think I'm going to do.
Well, I think you've got all the right to gloat, don't you? I mean, what is it, second in the league at the moment?
You know it's second, Ash. I know you've been looking.
I'll be honest, I thought you might have been first because I haven't checked.
Yeah, well, do you know what? When we beat Cardiff the other week, it did feel like we were top of the league. But yeah, no, it's very good at the moment. It's a very good time to be a Lincoln fan again. And yeah, second in the league. It's probably above board. You know, with teams having games in hand, a lot of big teams are underperforming this season. So the fact that we're second going into the new year, I'm absolutely delighted and looking forward to seeing what the second half of the year brings.
Jake, where were you expecting to finish before the season started? Is this a big surprise to you and the other Lincoln fans?
I don't think I'm surprised. Lincoln have made progression in this league for the last 6 years. We've finished in the top half, I think, 4 years running now. So to be in and amongst the top 6 is no surprise to me, knowing the way that the club are run, etc. But to be second sat this far into the season, we've played everybody obviously now, including Barnsley twice, and I am a little bit shocked. I think I'm more surprised that some of the big teams haven't performed, like Huddersfield, maybe, like Luton. I don't think Stockport have got going yet. Bolton, I don't think have got massively going yet. So there's a lot of big teams going. But I think I expected top 12. I think I predicted us 12th when I did our pre-season predictions. And the reason I did it was because I know it's a really boring conversation to have, right, when you're one of the smaller teams, but budget dictates a lot in this league. We're coming up against, I mean, even when I look at Lincoln and Posh, right, you spent £1 million on a striker. We've broken our record transfer twice this season, and that's 350 grand, 400 grand. So it shows you the levels that we're competing against, that you can just go and bang £1 million on a striker and we can't. And you've got Huddersfield. Joe Taylor went for what, £3 million last year? You've got Luton and the millions that they've got, Huddersfield, etc. So yeah, I think there's a lot of factors, but surprised to be second at this minute in time. Yeah, absolutely.
Can I just ask you on Posh? Because obviously, when we previewed, what was it, September time that we played you guys? Obviously, there was lots of banter.
End of September, wasn't it? I remember it very well. Surprisingly,
I don't. I've blanked it out. So did you see Posh being as bad as we were, or did you see if they can get it right, like we have done for the last 2 months since Luke Williams came in? Did you see that coming or not?
No, to be honest, that game was men against boys. I think that would be fair to say. I think the experience that we had on the pitch at the time, Sonny Bradley, Adam Reach, James Collins, I think that really showed. And yeah, it was. To be honest, I think that was the penultimate game of Fergie in the league. I think he went after the Blackpool game. I was speaking to Charlie yesterday about it, and yeah, I mean, I wasn't expecting this Peterborough team to have such a rapid rise of form, because it looked like they were playing with no confidence. There was no real system. I mean, you were flicking between the back 3 and the back 4. And it felt like, and I'm sure you guys would have discussed about it, that Posh were really threatened about going into League 2, because at that point you were at the relegation. So I think you were bottom, weren't you, when Luke Williams came in? So I mean, I'm pleasantly surprised for you guys, but I'm not surprised that you've had an uptick in form as soon as you're about to come to Central Bank.
Yeah, Jake, you mentioned men against boys, and the concerning thing for me is that whether you still think that that's going to be the case, because I've just looked back at the starting 11 that we had, and I reckon that out of those 11, probably at least 7 of those are going to start tomorrow. Obviously, we've grown into the team. Is there anybody that you think that you sort of see that you've watched over the last 2 months since Luke Williams came in that you thought, yeah, I'm worried about them tomorrow? Or are you still confident that it's going to be men against boys tomorrow?
Yeah, no, there's one name, and I don't think you'd be surprised. I alluded to him earlier. Harry Leonard has scored goals for fun recently. I think he was just coming into that patch when we first played you. I think he missed a penalty away at Plymouth, if I'm not mistaken. And he wasn't quite up to scratch, but I've watched him a couple of times. I've seen Peterborough. Certainly that game against Stockport, I thought he was very good at. And he scored a number of goals for you, really important goals, certainly while you've had this brief uptick of form. So Harry Leonard is one. I mean, you don't spend £1 million on a striker. Peterborough get their strikers right. I mean, I don't have to tell you guys, do I? You've been there and lived it. He's one that worries me. And if him and Jimmy J. Morgan can link up like they did do in that Stockport game, then there might be a problem for Sonny Bradley and Tom Hamer tomorrow. But yeah, I think he's definitely the danger man. And I like Matt Garbutt as well. I watched your highlights, your extended highlights against Rotherham, and for the first goal, I think it was where it might have been the second goal actually, where he drove the ball pretty much from the halfway line up to the 18-yard box and caused Rotherham no end of problems. He's going to be a player that we're going to have to keep an eye on tomorrow. But yeah, you've got to back your boys to do it, because we have been so good, certainly at home this season. But you've got a couple of lads. I think if I ask you the other question, I think you might end up saying a few more names than I am. But I can't disrespect the run that you guys have been on, because you've been the form team in the league apart from us. So you're doing very well.
Jake, I don't watch enough football to comment on other teams. So when I'm put in this position, I normally rely on stats that I find online. And when I look at Lincoln's stats, I can see they've got the lowest possession in the league, one of the lowest pass completion rates, one of the highest aerials won, most goals from set pieces. Is it fair to say that you're relying on your physical presence and your hard working to get the results that you're getting?
Yeah, I know you don't watch your football too much, Logs, because I know you did a podcast and you said talking about teams that you think Peterborough could finish above, and for some reason you said Lincoln. I would love to know if you still believe that, but I'm sure my turn to ask questions can come later, Ash, because that's what happened last time, wasn't it? I do get where you're coming from. Lincoln do look like a physical team. We are very much out of possession. An out of possession side that like to bully teams, and we've done it to a lot of good teams this year. We do have that physical nature, and we do like winning the first ball, and we are fairly direct. But I think in the last couple of weeks, certainly away at Barnes and away at Stockport, we played some really good football, like on the floor. So I get where you're coming from. The fact that you see that we don't have the ball very often, we probably play, I wouldn't say more long balls, but we play a big percentage of long balls, maybe compared to a lot of teams, and we have big lads all around the pitch. But we can pop it around really nicely. We have got some really technical players in there, like Jack Moylan, for example. Ivan Varfolomei, who you're going to see on tomorrow, is a technically very, very good footballer. So I understand where you're coming from, Rod. I do, because on paper it does look like that. But I think if Peterborough come and play football against us tomorrow, I think we can play it back. But it's good to have that bullying side in you, isn't it? Because if you can bully teams like Stevenage did to you guys a couple of weeks ago, then you can eke out results and grind them out. So it's a good trait to have. I think it's an added extra to our bow.
And what formation do you normally set up in? I think, was it a 4-2-3-1 you've been playing the majority of the season? But have you changed it recently?
Yeah, 4-2-3-1. Sometimes we have on occasion gone 3 at the back because we do have Riley Towler to fit into the team. He's a really good player that we bought from Portsmouth over the summer. You'd have seen him in League One before. Sometimes we do go with that 3 at the back. We did it on, I'm trying to remember what day it was. Thursday was the last time we all played football. Thursday on New Year's Day. We went 3 at the back against Huddersfield. We did it away at Bolton. I think when we realised that a team have pretty good attacking output, we like to go 3 at the back, just go man for man and try and at least outnumber teams, your forwards to our defenders. And with the wing backs, it can work. But traditionally, 4-2-3-1's been what Michael's employed this year. And we play we have played 4 centre forwards all season, really. Collins has been the 9, Street's been on the right. We've had Ben House on the left, and we've had Freddie Draper through the middle. Obviously, there's a couple of injuries there this time, but yeah, 4-2-3-1. But we could play 3 at the. Honestly, it could be anything tomorrow. But I think that's Michael Scabala's very good tactically, and he knows when to switch it up. So I'm looking forward to seeing what he's got for us at 11:30 tomorrow when the team comes out.
Jake, across the Christmas period, have you guys had to rotate massively, or have you managed to sort of play the same sort of, let's say, 13 key players, I would say? Because Posh, we've sort of only really saw a change on Thursday. Like you mentioned, on New Year's Day, we'd stuck with the same 2 across the 26th and 29th fixtures. Mm-hmm. I'm concerned that we might be tired tomorrow. Is that something that you're concerned with Lincoln?
Yes and no. The thing is, right, I think the back 5, the goalkeeper and the back 4 hasn't really changed. Obviously, we added up Riley Towler into it on Thursday. And the midfield has had a bit of a change. Tom Bayliss picked up an injury. You might remember Tom Bayliss from the game at our place last year. He pinged a lovely free kick into the top bins. He got injured away at Stockport in that win at Stockport. We haven't changed the wingers a little bit. Freddie Draper's been in the team. Jack Moylan's been in the team. Dom Jeffries has played. Abikwu, who obviously came on and scored at your place as well. He's come in. We've had Rob Street play a mixture of positions as well. So we have rotated when we can. But the problem with Lincoln is we have quite a small squad. And I'm not sure about, I think you guys have got depth for days in a lot of periods. But we've got quite a small squad. I think what Lincoln tried to do is have a smaller squad, but spend more on those players so that you can buy more quality. And that's what we've done. I don't think we've rotated a huge amount, but I expect the stamina and the fitness that we've got, probably one of the fittest teams in the league in the way that we play. Because we don't have the ball, like I said earlier, not having the ball, you've got to be fit because you've got to chase got to chase around. You got to shift side to side all the time. So it's not easy playing that way. But yeah, fair amount of rotation. But I expect a familiar looking 11 to set up tomorrow.
Jake, how good is your right back? Because we've got Kyrell Lisby, who didn't have the highest expectation before the start of the season, but barring the last few games, he's had pretty much every fullback he's come against on toast. Is that going to be a problem for you tomorrow, or is your right back very solid?
Tendai Darikwa is a League One winning captain for Wigan. He's our fullbacks are probably the strongest part of our team. You've got Adam Reach on one side. I don't know if you boys saw the goal we scored away at Barnsley, but the bloke just scores worldie after worldie. Ironically, on Thursday, he scored a tap-in. But Tendai Darikwa will be the right-sided fullback who's 34, and you might jump at that and think and go, well, hold on a minute, Lisby against a 34-year-old, that's going to go well in our favour. But Tendai's got like a Duracell battery attached to him. And when you think he's knackered, he just pulls another one out of his sock and goes again. So what he likes to do is he likes to let the winger think he's getting the better of him. Maybe just let him go down the line once, but then he's straight in and he then puts his arm around him and says, yeah, you haven't got a chance today, mate. So yeah, Tendai is one of our strong players, actually. I'm looking forward. That'll be a key battle tomorrow. If Tendai can lock down Lisby, and maybe the experience is going to help, right? Because Lisby's not played a huge amount of EFL games in his career, and the amount of games that Tendai's played at Championship and League One level, even Premier League level when he was at Burnley, I expect him to come out on top in that duel tomorrow.
Jake, bit of a weird one, and I'm assuming this will mean something to you because it does not mean anything to me. Have you run up Hubbard Hills?
I don't know what Hubbard Hills is. I've ran up Steep Hill this morning and I was tired. So I'm assuming that's the same thing.
Yeah, I would guess so. Matt Meacham's also said that he loves Lincoln. Nice city, easy to get to the ground. And last year he got to leave early.
Fantastic.
Obviously, that was a disaster. Well, yeah, obviously, we're sort of going back to back now, aren't we, in terms of Lincoln sort of handing us everything that they could. You mentioned the last time you were on, you'd not won at Posh in like years, had you? Do you think that you can carry on the rich vein of form and batter us tomorrow?
I don't think we're going to batter you tomorrow. I don't think it's going to be another 5-1. I expect Lincoln to win tomorrow, but I don't think it will be 4-5-1 like it has been before. We've not won a huge amount of games this year by big score lines. I don't think I can't remember the last time we scored 5 in a game. It would have been Bristol Rovers. I don't think we've put too many teams to the sword this year. But look, we've been very good at home. That's the one thing I will say. This year, Lincoln have won 8 out of our 12 home games. We've drawn 3 and only lost the once. So I think that does go in our favour a little bit. The atmosphere at Central Bank is, as we know, is electric, and I'd like to see this Posh team, who have a lot of confidence, I'd like to see how they handle the atmosphere tomorrow, because it should be the hallmarks of a really good game.
Speaking of Central Bank, I've seen the photos on social media of the new high-tech pitch covers going on. Is that something that's new? Has your pitch struggled in the past with the winter weather?
I can't tell you, lads, the last time we had a game called off for a frozen pitch. Our groundsmen and our team work very hard. I don't think you'll find many better carpets in League One than at Central Bank. It is so well looked after. It is so well maintained and invested in. We invest more on the pitch than we do on the playing squad. That's how good our pitch is. So I expect no issues with the game tomorrow. I know they've got the heat tent on, haven't they? So I know it's going to be cold, but just wrap up warm. The pitch will be absolutely fine.
Yeah, we should clarify that the tent's from the EFL, isn't it? It's a donation because the game's on the TV, isn't it? So
that's right.
They cover the costs, don't they, for that?
They do. Yeah, we normally have just a couple of lights, and we put it at each end of the pitch.
And I saw somebody joke around that they were like from the police. These lights, yeah. Is that a legit thing?
No, it's not. But the new sort of police HQ in Lincoln is round the back of the football ground. So I think people are saying that they're using marijuana lights to heat the pitch. But I don't know the groundsman personally, but I'm going to say that that's not where they're from, because he seems like a nice bloke.
He's not a raging pothead, is what you're saying.
No, he's from Lincoln. He's not from Peterborough, so it should be fine.
Right. Well, Jake, you want to ask us any questions before you dash and do whatever your Saturday evening's going to
Are you
be
confident?
doing?
Are you confident, boys?
I'm less confident now. Now spoke to you, but you spoke a good game last time as well, which obviously you were right to because you won 3-0. But to answer your question earlier, I do still think that we will be challenging with you in the playoffs coming into the season. I think we'll meet again. I think we'll meet again in the playoffs. That's what I think.
Yes, please. Yes, please.
Yeah, exactly
absolutely.
that.
We can do
Exactly
this. We can do this twice more, and we can beat you 8-1 on aggregate. It's going to be great. Can't wait.
That's my concern, is that I would not want to face Lincoln, because everything that Lincoln are is what Peterborough United hate, isn't it? Ugly football, boring football, long ball football. Am I confident going into tomorrow? Of course I am, because we're 6 unbeaten now. So how can you not be confident when you're 6 unbeaten?
Absolutely.
I don't think that we're going to get the tonking, like you said, that we got last season, but I also thought something similar last season, and we all walked off embarrassed, and there was players shouting at each other in the changing room, reminding them that they can't behave the way that they did on the pitch. I watched back the goals from last season, and yes, there was some good goals, but one of them was a deflection, one of them was a penalty. So if you remove those two, it was only 3-1,
they don't count then. They only went
basically
in,
not. No, exactly that. Like, on any other day, they don't go in.
So we must have beat you at 1-0 at your place, because we only scored a free kick directly. We scored from a long throw, right?
You know what? I forgot when Ashley said he can't remember that game. I couldn't remember it either until you said about the free kick. 2 of the goals were our goalkeeper's fault. So yeah, I'm willing to call that a 1-0 win.
No surprise. But I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to seeing you gents tomorrow. Nice pint, nice pie. Hopefully.
Fan zone? Are we fan zoning? Yeah.
Fan zone will be open for Posh fans.
Good.
Really good fan zone. Lots of local food, lots of local beer. So get yourself in there. Really friendly. Lincoln fans are generally a friendly bunch. Obviously with Posh, we have got a bit of needle, but yeah, I'm sure it'll be fine. I'm sure you'll be fine to be in the fan zone tomorrow.
All because of Sammy Smodic, eh? Right?
Yeah, a little diver.
and that Stonewall penalty. Jake, give us a prediction for tomorrow before we let you enjoy your evening, and a first goal scorer if you think that Lincoln are going to score.
When I think Lincoln are going to score, I'm going to go Lincoln 2, Peterborough 0. And I think my first goal scorer, Sonny Bradley from a corner. He's in a bit of form.
You said when confidently then, so give me just this is an addition. We've never done this
before.
Do
you want a minute?
Yeah, give me a minute. How soon or how late are you going to score the first goal?
We come out the blocks pretty quickly against Huddersfield, so I'm going to go minute 13. We'll be 1-0 up.
Oh, I don't like that. Well, thank you, Jake. Thank
you very much. See you tomorrow.
We will see you tomorrow. Probably at 10:30. I will be kicking your door down, whether you are ready or not. So I suggest that you get your act together, right?
Take care, boys. See you tomorrow.
Cheers, mate. Thank you.
Love the imps.
Right. Shall we? Let's not hang around. Lods, you said that you were feeling negative after that, or not as confident, should I say?
Yeah, Jake talks a good game, doesn't he? And like set pieces and him saying about his right backs, it's just, I thought, that Lisby might have a resurgence, but coming up against the right back that Jake says is almost championship quality, even at the grand age of 34, worries me slightly. So I am feeling less confident, but I still think it'll be a good game. I don't think we're going to get a Tonkin.
Fingers crossed. But like I say, let's not hang around. Our next guest is a footballer for Peterborough United, who I'm delighted to have join us. Meg, good evening. How are you?
Hey, guys. Yeah, good, thank you. How are you guys?
I am all good, and I am hoping that even if one Peterborough United team lets us down tomorrow, the second Peterborough United team, and I should clarify that both Peterborough United teams are playing in Lincoln tomorrow. So we are doing this as a special because we would love everybody that is making that hour-and-a-half trip up to Lincoln to watch the men's team to hop over to, is it Abbey Road? I think it's called, like the Sunhat Villa Stadium. They've got something named like that.
A really rogue name, yeah.
We are fingers crossed that the lovely trees that surround that stadium keep the pitch protected from the -4 degrees that they are going to experience in Lincoln. Meg, can we start with, tell everybody about you and your time at Posh, because you are, as Lod's mentioned before, we went live, you are part of a very exclusive group of Posh players, aren't you?
Yeah, I am lucky enough to be in the 100 club. I'm 160, 70 appearances now for Posh, which is amazing because I grew up watching Posh men. I'm a midfielder. I think this is my 9th season, I want to say. So yeah, I've been here for quite a while now, and I've seen the women's team grow and evolve over the time to where we are now, which is super exciting and really nice to see and be a part of.
Yeah, that brings me nicely to one of my questions, which was going to be, how have you seen, like, the growth in women's football has been massive recently, hasn't it? How would you compare when you were sort of coming through the ranks as like a 15, 16, 17-year-old? What's the biggest difference between that and what the 16, 17-year-olds are going through right now?
Yeah, it's completely night and day. Like, you'd struggle to even find like a women's match to watch on TV when I was growing up. I had to go to MK Dons, which as a Posh fan wasn't ideal, to their academy because Posh didn't have one. So to now see us have a thriving academy with so many girls teams in the local area is just like amazing, because when I was younger, I had to start by playing for a boys team, and then when there was a girls team, it was like few and far between. You'd have to travel miles for games, and it's just a delight to see, and the support is amazing, and obviously a big thanks to the Lionesses for that, for exploding the platform really with the Euros win back in 2022, and it's just doesn't seem like it's stopping anytime soon now, which again is just great to be a part of, and hopefully it just continues to keep evolving.
Yeah, Meg, so let's talk about this season for Posh, because this is, I came to watch a few games last season, but myself and Lods, along with Imogen, Shannon and everybody else, we've really got into it this season, and we seem to have picked the right season. Unbeaten in the league, a great FA Cup run. Can we, I want to segment the FA Cup game, because I do want to talk about that last game. Can we segment the start of the season and how that's been for what's a really strong squad, I would say, as well, and how that's been for you being part of a team that is top of the league, if not actually being top of the league?
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, we've tried to take every game as it comes, rather than thinking about that end goal, which for us is obviously promotion. Obviously, it's nice that the league have introduced that sort of runner-up playoff game versus the other region, which again is massive, because we've always just fallen short, whether that be finishing second, third, but we've always been in and around it. But this season, it seems like the team is the strongest it's ever been in every single position. We're bringing up it like off the bench, like for like players. There's such a good atmosphere around the group. We feel like we're stronger than ever, more sort of united than ever. So it's just a really nice place to be, exciting place to be, and we keep just spurring each other on, and that internal competition as well is what's driving us as well. And it's just a great place to be a part of.
Yeah, how do you put yourself sort of ahead of the pack? Because there's so many like really good players, especially in your position as well. Like you're talking like 5 or 6 players worthy of a first team start, fighting for 2 positions on the pitch, essentially. Like, how much of that is a struggle for you, especially because you obviously were playing week in, week out before, and now the squad's got stronger, you're sort of not playing every week as such?
Yeah, it has been a bit of a learning curve, I think, for a lot of the group. We did a lot of rotation last year. I was lucky enough to play, I think, the most amount of minutes out of any player last season. Obviously, this season is very different to that. But then you've just got to kind of think of the team. Like, we are a team. It's not an individual sport. And you have to just, like, I suppose, just be a part of it. And when you get that opportunity to go on the pitch, like, play your part in it. And I think that goes back to that sort of team mentality and unselfishness in a way as well. Obviously, we all want to play. We want to play 90 minutes week in, week out, but football is cutthroat. And I think this year more than ever, Jake wants to just stick with the same team. Like, if it's not broken, like, don't fix it, or whatever the saying is. So that's the sort of mentality we've got to be in, the headspace we've got to be in, and just keep pushing our teammates forward that are on the pitch, and then, like I say, impact it when we come off the bench.
Yeah, Meg, I think you're right. And that does sort of really clarify what we said, is that this is a squad of players, and it doesn't feel like previously, and this isn't to knock anybody that I watched last season. Sometimes when we were making subs last season, it felt like it was weakening the team slightly. This season, whenever there's subs, it's like, okay, well, they're an impact on the game because they're a similar level and they are then just fresh legs off the bench, aren't they? So pre-Christmas, I'm sure the last game was Burnley, wasn't it? Is that right, or am I getting mixed up?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. Obviously, that didn't go the way that we wanted it to, but Burnley are obviously top of the step ahead, aren't they, of Posh? So did that give you a good idea of, should everything go well this season, what needs to happen at Peterborough United next season?
Yeah, no, definitely. We were under no illusion that it was going to be an easy game. We knew we were definitely the underdogs, but at the same time, like we have that belief and we had that confidence. We've obviously been winning all of our games up to that point. So yeah, it's just unfortunate that we couldn't quite make it to half time, because I genuinely do think it could have been a different outcome if we could have stuck it out. But again, like they are, like you say, they've got a lot of investment. They're top of the league above, and they've got ex-WSL players. We can't quite compete with that, although we've got Kaylee Hines that has played in the WSL at one point. Yeah, it was just, I think fitness, sort of physicality in the end probably shown. But nonetheless, it was a proud moment for us to get there to that stage of the competition again for another year. It just shows like we can do it, and we have beaten the teams in the league above to get to that point. So for us, there was a lot of lessons to be learned. Obviously, we changed the way that we played for that game as well, so it was different to how we would normally play. But yeah, a proud day nonetheless, despite the scoreline obviously not being what we wanted.
I think they're full time as well, aren't they, Burnley? Which is obviously something that we're not quite there yet. You train twice a week, is it?
Yeah, we train twice a week at the moment at Peterborough Sports.
How difficult is it? Because I'm guessing the majority of your training, you're sort of preparing to play against teams that are going to sit back, and you've got to try and be patient and wait for an opening. How difficult is it to prepare for a game like Burnley, where it's almost the opposite, isn't it? That's how we had to try and set up against them, but you've only got 2 training sessions in the build up to it to sort of prepare for it. How difficult is it preparing for that?
Yeah, I mean, we try and treat it like any other game, but it is really difficult. Like you say, only 2 training sessions, but like all the staff put a lot of effort into like analysis. We have Zoom calls as well, just to run through clips and make sure like we are as prepared as we can be. But like you say, they're a full-time outfit, so it is hard to be at the same sort of level of prepared as they are.
Meg, looking ahead to tomorrow, we are, of course, fingers crossed that the pitch doesn't freeze. Obviously, it's been 3 weeks now-ish since the last game. Do you think that will have any sort of impact on just sort of like firing up again? Or Jake, I know what Jake will have said. Jake will want a goal within the first 5 minutes, won't he? Just to really kickstart the new year. Do you think that that's something that's achievable for the team against Lincoln, despite our bottom of the league, aren't they? So, but they've had a positive result in their last game. I'm sure that I saw that they are growing into their new manager, aren't they? A new squad as well.
Yeah, for sure. They've changed managers and they've got a lot of new players. So we've got to go. Well, we've got to go in it with the mindset. We need to be ruthless. We need to be relentless, and we need to keep our high standards. And yeah, that won't change on the game tomorrow if obviously it goes ahead because of the weather. So yeah, we're excited to get going again. We've been working hard in the off season. Like, we have done a lot of running sessions. We've had 2 train sessions under our belt this week, so we will be ready to face them obviously again if it goes ahead tomorrow, because the weather's not looking great.
Meg, 2025 was a great year. I think there was only 1 loss, wasn't there, which was almost a full year ago. So completely unbeaten apart from that. What has been the highlights in 2025 for you and your footballing life?
That is a really difficult one. I'd probably just say like being a part of the team and as winning games and being relentless and just helping out when I can. I think I've scored a few goals last season, which is nice as well. So maybe winning goal this season was a highlight for me. But no, to be honest, the main aim for me and the rest of the team is to get that promotion. That will be like massive, especially being at the club so long, and we've come close so many times. To actually get that over the line and to bring that trophy back to Peterborough and get into tier 3 would just be like amazing.
Yeah, I think we should clarify that there was a freezing cold Sunday, wasn't there, in like February or March? It was pissing it down. And you played at Yaxley, didn't you? And it was what, the 92nd minute? And you managed to clip one in off the top of the bar or the underside of the bar even. Was it Worcester that you were playing that day?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. That was a great goal. That made sitting outside, because that was absolutely freezing, which, you know, it does bring us on nicely tomorrow. I think it is going to be freezing. Meg, we discussed before we went live, I don't want you to predict the result of that you're going to be playing in tomorrow, but give the Posh fans that are watching some positivity if they are heading up to Sincilbank for their 12 o'clock kickoff. Give us a prediction, and if you are able to, a first goal scorer for Posh.
Yeah, for sure. To be fair, I'm quite excited about the game. I wish I could be watching myself. I think we're going to win 2-1. And I think the hyper on Harry Leonard, I'd like to see him on the score sheet and be our first scorer.
Wicked. One question from Ed. He's just asked about the fans. How much did you like all of the away fans at Burnley away? Obviously, that was a long journey, wasn't it? Was it noticeable that there was a collection of Posh fans? And probably, actually, let's ask that question as well for the home games. What impact does getting 300 people down there on a Sunday have on the team? I assume it's positive, right?
Yeah, it's massive for us. We're so grateful for the support we get and the fact that it's growing. We're getting more people down. Like, it really does play that sort of 12th man, as it were, and it really does spur us on. And yeah, the drums, the noise, like the atmosphere, and even in Burnley to see so many people travel to watch us as well, that was really special. And like, we are beyond grateful for the support, not just in Burnley but in general as well.
Right, wicked. I think we're there, Meg. We'll leave you to enjoy the rest of your evening as well. Thank you very much for coming on, and thank you for being the first player to join us on Countdown to Kickoff as well.
Thanks for having me. Bye, guys.
And fingers crossed we'll see you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow, Meg.
See ya.
Right. 2 down, 1 to go.
It's also worth pointing out, Ashley, that if people did want to go to the women's game after the men's game tomorrow, it will cost them just £1 with proof that they attended the first game, which, in my opinion, I know Meg's not going to say it, but I think we should be winning that game quite comfortably. So I'm expecting a very entertaining performance from the women's side.
Yes, I fully agree with you there. I'm really hoping that I'm just pulling up the match preview for the women's as that's gone on now. It does say that tickets are £4, £3, or £1, but you are right. It is only £1, isn't it, if you go to Sincilbank and you've got your ticket to that. So look, it would be great. Let's say let's put an aim out. Look, if there's 100 Posh fans that make the journey across, I think that's a successful afternoon from 1,800, which is a quality turnout from Posh. This man, I'm going to add him in now, is going to be coming in and bringing the noise, I'm sure. Oh, I brought the wrong person in. Hayden. Hello. You are, of course, a TikToker, aren't you? I think that's a fair comment to make.
Something's going on with the sound here. I can't hear.
Oh, here we go again. Can you hear Lods?
Hi, Hayden.
Do you want me to leave and join back?
Let's just wing it for what?
Actually, give a score prediction for the women's game and the first goal scorer.
I'm gonna go double figures.
Really?
Yeah, I think that the difference that you see in what you get from the women's setup is that, not that Lincoln won't have taken their Christmas break seriously, but I think that Jake is relentless, right? And he will not accept anything but perfection. And when we don't go out and beat teams by 4 or 5 goals, I'm sure that he's frustrated by that. You see him in his post-match interviews, right, where he is happy that we've got the win. But just like the men's team, it does feel like we've had a few games where we've not quite like dominated teams, and obviously the Burnley game as well was not disappointing, but sort of that was how I expected it to go. Like if we could have nicked a goal, that would have been nice. I think that Jake will want to go out there and prove a point, especially to Boldmere, who are currently sat top of the league, having played 2 more games than Posh, and really put a statement out there and say, right, you may think that you are the best team in this league because you were top at Christmas, but Peterborough United are coming and we are going to be relentless until what, the middle of April when the final game is. Are you going to give me a prediction as well? I didn't give you a first goal scorer, did I?
But you didn't even give me you just said double figures, which could be from anywhere between 10 and 9.
Let's just go 10-0. Yeah. And I will go Jess Russo to score first as well. You can give me yours as well if you want.
Jess is a bit like Harry Leonard, isn't she? Where she's an absolute bagswoman, but she hasn't scored for a while, I don't think, from memory. But she's from Lincoln, isn't she? It's like a home ground for her, so I can see her scoring quite a lot. I'll go for a reserved 6-0. I think. I agree with you. I think it will be dominant, but Lincoln have improved, haven't they? Apparently, they gave Boldmere quite a good run for their value. So, yeah.
I think that was the game just before Christmas, wasn't it?
Yeah,
that it was quite
7-2, I think, but it was only towards the end that Boldmere really turned it up. So,
let's try and bring Hayden in again. Hayden, can you hear us this time?
I can hear you now.
Wicked. Can you hear Logs?
Hi, Hayden. Can you hear me?
I can. Hello.
Oh, hey.
Right. Let's try again. Hayden, you have got your TikTok name in your name on screen, but for anybody that's listening, give yourself a little bit of self-promo now about what you do on TikTok and where people can find you.
So basically, I try and do as much Peterborough United EFL content as possible on TikTok. My name's Posh, and as many games I can go to. If I'm not working, I'll chuck a vlog out, and there's a new video out today regarding the Ryan de Havilland sale and my thoughts on it, pretty much.
Right. Well, I'm going to ask you about that because that was the first outgoing of January.
Yes.
How many do you think that we can realistically expect to see leave Peterborough United this January?
We need 6 out the door, don't we? At least.
Do you want to name them as well?
Well, RDH is gone. Con Clark's on loan, so I assume get Con Clark out. Brad, unfortunately. I love Brad, but we've got Leonard, we've got Gustav. That's 3. Odo, Bila Kapic, and potentially Luka Mendonca as a 6.
Are you getting rid of Mendonca permanently?
If we can loan him, surely that's 90% of the wage bill.
Oh, I don't know about that. I think the number that Darrow was on about, I think he's talking about senior players on a decent wage. I don't think Mendonca's signed a decent.
Does that mean my Archie Collins baby's going to have to go?
That was one of my questions, Hayden, actually. So you can answer it now. Where do you sit with Archie Collins? Is there a figure that you would accept if you were Darren McAntony and we got an offer for him?
No.
Nothing at all?
No.
Not even if someone said £2 million?
No. He is, for me, he is our best number 6 we've had in such a long time. He's better than what Cipriani was.
Do you know what, Hayden? I want to ask you on Archie Collins, actually, because we had a weird one on Thursday, New Year's Day. And it was like the people that were at the game didn't think that Archie Collins had a good game. The people that watched on TV thought he had a better game. So I think that basically his average rating of the 4 of us that were at the game was like 5.2. And then the 2 guys that were at home gave him both 7s, I'm pretty sure. You were probably stood at the back, weren't you, I guess? What did you think of his performance?
When was this Boxing
Thursday?
Day, sorry?
No, New Year's Day.
Rotherham?
Yes.
I was literally just behind you.
Oh, well, that says a lot. I mean, you can't have been that far. You must have been back
Hayden,
further.
I saw where Hayden was. He was stood up. He was sort of one of the culprits near the stairwell, I believe, but he was right at the front.
Yeah,
of the
so the people that on the stair were literally like 2 rows behind me. So that's where I was, just before all of that lot. So we were away from it.
Hayden, let's talk about the rest of the season. Where do you think that Posh are going to finish, and what do you want to see from the rest of the 4 and a bit months, let's say, until May turns around.
Well, the ideal dream is a playoff push, isn't it? But my realistic prediction at the moment of how we are, because since Williams has taken over, not including league games, including all of the games he's had, 4 wins, 4 losses, a draw, now back to another win. 4 wins, a draw, then another win. So it's like very much hit and miss at the moment. So realistic prediction, if we finish 12th, I think that's a good season, considering how we started.
I think it's really difficult to judge because we are only, with a game in hand, 6 points behind Huddersfield, who are in 5th, aren't they, right? So let's say that we do get the 6 out the door. By the way, criminal not mentioning Clyde Lolos as one.
Oh my God! Yeah, but he's not really had any minutes, has he?
Exactly.
He's the one who scored the 99th minute winner against us, if you remember.
I do remember that, yes, but that doesn't make him any good. I think that's the only positive impact that he had at Bolton.
I thought it was
putting the ball in the back of the net. He was allegedly good at Crawley, but that was when he played for Crawley, not in the game versus Crawley. I'm sure he got taken off at half time in that.
I think this is a Joe Randall thing all over again, isn't it?
Do you think that the playoffs are genuinely achievable? Put it on record.
Yeah.
That you think that, yes, there is a real chance. No point messing around with 12th. And I think this is something that we're going to have to do, Lods, as well, is we're going to have to do like a re-evaluation of our predictions now, because we are better than what we all predicted, aren't we? So I think that we'll get playoffs. I just hope that we don't end up playing Lincoln in the playoffs. That thought petrifies me.
I mean, a few months ago, the bookies, when I put a bet on us for finish the top 6, I put a $5 on it, 25-1. And they've now... the odds have shot down. It's like 12-1 for us to hit top 6.
Hayden, where you at with the Gustav train? There's been a lot of clamour for him recently. Are you, from a scale of you'd start him tomorrow over Leonard to get him gone in January? Whereabouts?
As much as I love him, he's not a starter for me. Ever since we signed him, that Everton away performance, everyone slated him, and I was like, no, he's actually quality. You need to look at the runs off the ball and the type of striker he is. He reminds me very much of like Darwin Núñez. No final product. But I have a thing for liking shit strikers. I loved Ricky J. Jones. I love Darwin Núñez, and I love Gustav.
Anyone else you want to add to that list?
No.
Sorry,
to be honest, I just have a thing for shit strikers.
We've got a bit of running joke at the moment about us comparing Posh players to Premier League players, but I'd never in a million years thought that someone would be comparing Gustav Lindgren to Darwin Núñez.
I think that's just my Liverpool side of me coming out, to be honest.
Ah, so you're a Liverpool fan as well, are you, Hayden? It's all coming true.
Well,
now. You're not really.
I say Liverpool fan. My old man's a Liverpool fan, so I like to see him do well. I do watch a lot of the games.
Of course, because they're on TV, and I suppose if you're working, you can probably get them at work, can't you? I suppose.
Yes.
Look, let's see what Fleetwood Zach has to say on Lindgren. Lindgren is all right, but 500k for a goal a month this season. It's a lot of money, isn't it? The question is, Hayden, do you listen to DMAC's podcast?
I used to. I kind of stopped.
Did you listen to the one that we were on, the three of us? He asked us obviously to do the hit or miss, didn't he?
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on, like, if let's say that Lindgren does get sold for a profit, do you think that puts him down as a hit?
Profits, isn't it?
So you are only bothered about the money in the door?
Well, my ideal scenario, we get fantastic signings. You know, we're a Premier League football club, but with Peterborough United, that's never going to happen. For me, it's more about keeping the football club alive, so we can watch this pretty football that we watch week in, week out.
Hayden, incomings. What players would you want to sign? Are you surprised that the line that's come out of the club is that we're not really looking to sign many in January? Would you?
I don't think we need to.
I
don't think we need to.
What about?
Apart from there's this rumours going around about Sam Nombe, but he's not all that, is he? He's a typical League One player.
What about wingers? So you said about selling Abraham Odo, that would leave us with just Hayes, Frith and Lisby. Do you think them three are good enough for a playoff push?
Yeah. And obviously, Luke Williams likes to play Garbett on the right hand side anyway. So
yeah, fair. And left back as well. Are you happy with the left back options if Mills is out for another few months?
This was one thing I was speaking to my little brother about. If we were to sign anyone, it would have to be a left back, because obviously the only one we've got at the moment is CJ. He's not an actual out-and-out left back.
We are not. Everybody just needs to get this out of their head. We are not signing a left back. Have it on record right now. It is not happening. There is no way that Darren McAntony signs a fourth left back for Peterborough United when Mendy's going to be fit in probably a week's time. Mendy will be fit by Bolton. Yeah, but it's not about that. It's about the fact that we've got him and we're probably not paying a great deal of money for his wages because Wrexham don't want him there.
I don't think that's good enough, personally. If we're keeping him because he's cheap, if we're going for the playoffs, we need someone that's going to be competitive, right? Mendy, even before his injury, was rubbish. We're all slating him. Mills isn't around. And
Harry Leonard was crap.
Mills is still living off of his Wembley performance. That's my problem. He's got a massive ego because season.
With Harry Leonard, actually, I think we could all see there was a player there, and quite often he would not be getting the service. With Mendy, he had plenty of opportunities to cross the ball in and provide that service to the strikers, and he wouldn't. He was like the anti wing back. He just kept passing the ball backwards. And Harley Mills is a good left back for us in the first team role, fine. CJ's a good enough backup, fine. But Harley Mills isn't here right now, and Adebisi, I don't think is going to be fit enough to play, and I don't think Mendy's good enough. So if
500k for a left back we've seen for half an hour, by the way, is crazy.
I'd be sending Mendy back to Wrexham. I'd be loaning Adebisi out so he can get some match fitness away from Posh, and I'd be signing a left back that can do a job whilst Harley Mills is out, and then provide some competition with him until the end of the season. That's what I'd be doing personally.
The problem is, though, is that it's all well and good saying that Mendy isn't good enough, but we've already acknowledged that Peterborough United are expecting a different role, and I'm sure we discussed it, didn't we, when we recorded after Rotherham, that we are expecting a different sort of activity from our right back and left back. We don't need them to overlap. We've only seen Mendy for 40 minutes in that system where, yes, he probably wasn't match fit. So is it fair to judge him on that? I don't think it is, because when Fergie was asking him to play, he was an overlapping left wing back or left back, wasn't he? We said it, or I'm sure that you said it, Lods, is that Luke Williams does not want his left back and right back overlapping the wingers. So Mendy could be a completely different player by the time that he comes back. We just need to get him fit and stop chucking him in when he's not ready to play football.
I think I have concerns that he won't be fit enough because he had injury problems at Wrexham. He barely played last season. He's come to Posh. He's played a few games and got a big injury. He's come back maybe early and now he's out again. I just can't see him being that player. He might have the ability in there, but I just don't think we'll see it because I just don't think he'll be fit enough to play at that level.
Yeah.
Right, Hayden, talk to me about tomorrow. What do you want to see from Posh? What are you expecting, actually? Look, we haven't got a great record, a previous record against Lincoln, have we? So what do you want to see tomorrow?
Obviously, the ideal is, carry on with our unbeaten streak. But realistically, I don't see it happening. It can go one of two ways. It can go either we scrape a result or we lose 3-1.
Okay. Shall we do your prediction now then? Because you've got scrape a result or we lose 3-1. So which one do you want to stick with?
3-1 Posh loss.
And who's your one Posh goal scorer then?
Cairo Lisby. Consolation goal. We're already 2-0 down.
You think he's going to start?
His performance at Rotherham wasn't great. But who else have we got for left-hand side?
Exactly that. So, Hayden, look, before I transition you off the screen, do you want to give your channel a shout out again?
Yeah, Posh we are. It's TikTok. We don't really post much on YouTube at all anymore. We are also active on Twitter as often as we can be.
Wicked. Thank you very much for joining us, Hayden. We'll see you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow. Up the Poshcast.
Bang on. Thank you very much.
See you later, Hayden. See you tomorrow.
See you later, boys. See you later.
See you tomorrow. Right, Lods. I I've just realised crime number one, I didn't put our banner on the whole time. So nobody's been given the call to action to send in their questions onto YouTube. But what better time to talk about the Next Level Barbell Club Predictions League, eh? This is...
Yeah, we've been a bit... we don't know who won December, do we? And we don't know who's... We've been a bit lapsed with that. But I was leading.
You probably know who's won December. Look, we've got a period after tomorrow. We've got a period after tomorrow where we've got 5 days where we don't really have a great deal to do. So there's going to be some serious admin. People are going to be contacted. We're going to be dishing out graphics, all sorts. And by Friday, everybody will know exactly what's going to happen. But what I'm going to do first, Lods, as you are a Countdown to Kickoff virgin, I'm going to talk through everybody else's predictions. And then when we're done, you can talk us through yours. And I'm going to be honest with everyone. There's no mistakes here. These are genuinely the predictions. So Chaz and I have both gone with a 1-0 Posh win. Harry Leonard to score first. Harry and Max have gone 1-1, both with Matt Garbett to score first. And John has gone 1-1 as well, but Harry Leonard to score first. So as you can see there, where there's been lots of confident predictions, we are certainly, what's the phrase? Is it tapering our expectations? Probably the right thing to say. Loz, do you want to talk us through yours as well? You are obviously a duplicate of somebody there as well.
Yeah, I mean, I've gone for 1-1, but it's a really tough one to predict. I come out of the Rotherham game feeling so confident. Like, I didn't think that playoffs would be achievable until after that game. And I know Rotherham was so poor, but it just, something about it, it just felt right. I don't know if it's the run of games that we've had in December. You said it, like, December, we're normally rubbish, aren't we? So to come through December unbeaten, and it just feels like we've worked it out almost. And you come against Lincoln, which is probably the biggest test we could come against right now. I know they're not quite top, but they're obviously the only team that's in better form than us, or at least equal to us. I've gone for a draw purely because I think it would just be two really good teams in form, probably play different styles, but we'll cancel each other out, and we'll probably both go home quite happy with a 1-1 draw. That we're both keen on extending our unbeaten runs. I know that they drew, didn't they, on New Year's Day? So I think we'll both be happy with a draw. I'll be happy with a draw, and I think that's where my positivity is. And with the first goal scorer, it's got to be Harry Leonard, purely because he hasn't scored in a while. You just keep predicting him. Eventually, he'll get a goal, won't he? I do think that his goal scoring will come back. I think it is just a temporary blip that he's going through, which, by the way, is only 2.5 games, if that. It's it might be a blip by his standards, but certainly some strikers we've had in the past would be killing for the ratio that he's currently at.
Yeah, I'm going to pull up Zach's comment again. Zach, I love pulling up Zach's comments because where his internet connection is crap, he does manage to submit good comments. And it's the second sentence that I would really like to highlight. Don't think it's something to lose our heads about if we lose tomorrow. And I think that's probably nail on the head stuff, really, is that if you'd have said start of December, where we had lost to Swindon and Barnsley, that we were then going to go and win or draw, go unbeaten in our next 6 games and go into Lincoln in that run of form, I think everybody would have been happy. And nobody, when we played Northampton, would have expected us to have won. No, it was Reading first, wasn't it? When we got to that Reading game, that first Reading game, Reading away, nobody would have expected us to have beaten Lincoln. Just because we are in a great run of form doesn't mean that all of a sudden it's a given that we're going to go to Lincoln and we're going to beat them 3-0. So I think that as long as we can continue to see, like Harry mentioned, that there's always a method with Luke Williams football, isn't there? As long as we can still see that. It felt like at times when we got beaten heavily last season and even this season that there was no method to the madness. That fingers crossed. And yeah, Dino, the lads said exactly what I want to say, just in not as many words. Let's just hold a good account of ourselves and go out there and compete, because We are not the second best team in League One at the moment. There's a chance that we could be come the end of the season. There's a lot of work to do between now and May the 5th, I think it is. But let's just go out there and show what Peterborough United are about, when we didn't do that, did we, in September when we lost 3-0 to Lincoln, and that was bad.
Yeah, no, I do agree with you. I'm obviously never going to say I'll be happy with a loss, but I did say before the Rotherham game, when I saw the lineup, we didn't beat Rotherham because we were resting players for Lincoln, it'd be a disaster, because I'd rather guarantee a win against Rotherham and lose to Lincoln, knowing that it might be a momentum killer, but it won't be a confidence killer, will it? Because like you say, they are the best team in the league at the moment, or second best, depending on how you want to look at it. So you kind of look at that game and not expect to get points from. So even a point would be a bonus. I think the confidence that we'd have coming out of that game, unbeaten as well, I think would just be a massive confidence boost. So if we did lose, I don't think there'll be many disappointed people unless we get an absolute tonkin.
Yeah, I'm going to run through some of the comments. I would just like to clarify to Damien Lewis that yes, the game at Sincilbank, there's no doubts about that will go ahead. Like the Lincoln groundsman, the Lincoln marketing and commercial people have been giving it the big one all day today about how the game will definitely be on. If the game gets postponed at Sincilbank tomorrow, that would be an absolute disaster for the marketing team at Lincoln, because all they've done is give it the big one. I think that the women's game over the road at Lincoln United is less likely to go ahead, but who knows what will happen? Who knows? But they've got 7 hours of daylight. Hopefully it warms up nice and early, and then the pitch can thaw out a little bit, and then we can get that one going. David Hare has mentioned, and this is where I'm going to be dashing off to very quickly when this is finished. Luke Rhythm final tonight. I don't think I managed a single darts pun, but puns are not my forte, Lods. Have you got any darts puns that you want to throw in?
No, but I wish I'd seen that comment earlier, because I definitely would have been playing that game.
Yeah, I would have not. Damon's also said that he thinks that Lincoln is a great city. Where are we at? Zach said something about Abraham Otto as a replacement for Lisby. Funboy 44 wants Steve back. Unfortunately, no Steve. I haven't heard from Steve actually, but I think that he is going to be at Rotherham's game tomorrow. If that one goes ahead, I think they've got Mansfield at home. So, who knows what will happen there.
Is Steve coming back on for the reverse fixture? We've still got to play them at home, haven't we, Rotherham?
Yeah, we have. But it's a Tuesday night game. So there is early reports that we might have to do a Monday night special just to get Steve on. Me.
All those guys that went live after the game and absolutely lost their minds, get them on. They'll be good value.
Yeah, I don't think we're bringing on King Bush and his terrace talk. He doesn't strike me as the type of person that wants to come on up the Poshcast and talk about Rotherham in a positive light. Steve tried his hardest, didn't he? Even though he was incredibly negative. But yeah, we saw exactly what Steve feared, didn't we, on Thursday?
Well, we were there last season, weren't we? It's easy to compare ourselves to Steve now. We've experienced it ourselves.
Yeah, but I don't think that Rotherham are going to get themselves out of it. They look so bad, and Mansfield are another informed team. I think that the Rotherham fans, probably players, staff, the board, are all hoping that game gets called off tomorrow. They've probably not even put any frost covers over, so that the pitch does get frozen. That's probably a little bit salacious, isn't it? So hopefully no Rotherham owner comes for me. Howard's trying to bring the positivity, and he's saying that there's going to be lots of goals tomorrow. He thinks that we can win it, and I need to stop preparing for a loss. I predicted a win. I predicted a 1-0. I'm just clarifying that if we are going to lose, it's not the end of the world, and that is absolutely fine, because we would have only lost one game in 7 in the league. So, and that's a good result.
And what I will say is the aggregate score of both the games, I am very confident that Posh will come out on top of that, regardless of the result of the men's.
Yeah, exactly that. This one, rumours are Lisby going to Cardiff. Not a chance. Some little pleb that's in their room. Well, yeah. Which Lisby? Did they get the wrong one? There is every chance that Kyrell's brother ends up at Cardiff and that they try and sign him from Colchester. But Cairo Lisby's not going anywhere. He's on like a 5-year contract at Posh. There's just no way that DMAC sells him after 4 or 5 months of being here. Not happening. I just totally disagree with it. Lod, you got any comments on Ryan de Havilland's Posh career?
Yeah, I do actually. I didn't mind Ryan de Havilland. He was a good egg, wasn't he? He was just very average. I think that's fair. He was quite consistent. I don't remember games where he was ridiculously bad on the pitch. I don't remember games where he was ridiculously good on the pitch. He obviously scored against Cambridge, which is probably what most people will remember him for. But he was just a good guy, I think, a good backup. Probably at Posh at a time where, you know, we weren't doing great on the pitch, so would naturally people will probably look back at his time and think negative thoughts. But I think if he was our 4th choice midfielder any other season, I think it probably would have been fine. Like our promotion season, for example, we had like Ethan Hamilton, didn't we? And Louis Reed and Reece Brown. He could have easily been sort of in that category of midfielder for us.
I don't know whether this is a fair, on the player that I'm going to mention, a fair comparison, but Ryan de Havilland sort of reminds me of Lee Frecklington. Just very like sideways Sid type player. Like, what was it? I'm sure I saw a clip of Birmingham fans like singing about sideways and backwards everywhere we go. Felt like that with Ryan de Havilland, is that he never quite had, and maybe that's why we didn't see the best of Gustav last season, is that whenever Gustav was in the team, Ryan de Havilland was in the team, and we never saw those progressive passes and making the defense splitting passes that Gustav could run onto. So maybe there's a correlation between those two things.
I think the disappointing thing as well with Ryan de Havilland is obviously he came from Barnet. There was some expectations that, you know, he'd be the next Jack Taylor or whatever. But all of the things that we heard about him as set pieces, the fact that he could play well with both feet, we didn't really see that side of him, did we? All of the things that he was hyped for before we signed him was the things we didn't see. He was just a very sort of safe midfielder that just did the basics quite well.
Yeah, he was meant to be able to take like free kicks with left and right foot, wasn't he? And all of that, and like take corners, and we just never saw it. Like he was never even on the set pieces, was he?
No.
This is a banker. I am charging the batteries up, and I'm going to try and hook it up to somewhere so that there's going to be some serious 360 action. I'm going to try and get it up high so that it captures everything. If Posh score tomorrow and there's some limbs action, you best believe that 360 cam is going to be going mental.
Ashley, I'll tell you what I would love, actually, if you could get that 360 camera fully charged so it survives both games, because I think the world need to see how angry you get with officials during the women's game. I reckon if you had that running for the full 90, you'd have more than just one clip.
Yeah, I think there'd be plenty of clips, and the opposition managers as well. My favourite pastime on a Sunday afternoon is to wind up opposition managers.
Yeah, of course. In fact, when the women's team do play Boldmere, which will be a top of the table clash, you should come, even if you don't want to watch the football. Watch Ashley argue with ex-Premier League Carl Henry, because that was a joy to watch in the home game.
We're mates. We tweet each other regularly. Like I got no beef with Carl Henry. I just
hope that you and Carl Henry bonded over hating the Leafield manager. It's like a hate triangle. You and him will be arguing when we go to their place. I can tell you that for a fact.
What's the phrase? My enemy's enemy is my friend. Is that the right phrase to use? Don't know. Might be right, might be wrong.
We need Chaz here to tell us.
Oh no, somebody spotted me. Okay, I'm assuming it's KD. KD is tired again. 7288. I've seen Ashley talk to the officials manager. That's not good. Oh no.
No, actually, I'll tell you what, Katie's been really generous there, because I don't even think I've seen you talking to the officials and the manager. I've only ever seen you shouting at them.
You might be right, but it's not something I'm proud of. But is it something I'm going to stop doing? Not a chance. It's part of the Sunday fun, isn't it? Look, Toxify, I'm going to be honest with you. This is not the time and place for this, nor do I have anything. I am 9 years into a relationship now. I wouldn't even know how to talk to a woman, if I'm being completely honest with you. Lods, you're similar. You got any words of advice for Toxify 895?
Yeah, get yourself to Lincoln tomorrow, and then after you've watched the men play, get yourself to the women's game. It's only an extra £1. There you go. That's my advice for Toxify.
What better way to do it? I tell you what, though, I actually hope that lots of people do turn up to the second Lincoln game, because that ground will not be ready for that many people to turn up. Because I went last season, there was probably 50 people there, and they didn't even have enough food and drink for everybody there. So if lots of people do turn up, we see sort of 300, 400 people there, it'll be a laugh, because it's an interesting place, I would say. Ashby Avenue, I think, is the address. I'm all done, lads. You got anything else you want to add?
No, just obviously, if you see us tomorrow, come and have a chat. It'd be nice to be told that you came to the game, because we'd let you know that it was on, or you know, it's your first Posh women's game. We will happily introduce you to all the players, that what they're capable of and their abilities, and how entertaining they've been for me and Ashley, certainly this season and majority of last season. And then the only other notice, Ashley, is our sponsorship packages. We need people to go and tell all their mates, anyone that owns any businesses. In fact, we're not even exclusive to businesses, are we? If you want to promote something on our channel, feel free. We'll happily take your money. Drop an email.
Within reason, we should add.
Yeah,
not going to be promoting anybody's OnlyFans accounts.
Drop an email to contact@theposhcast.com. Or Ashley, you're going to put a link in the description to the website?
Yeah, I'll put a link in the description. Failing that, just drop me a DM. It's going to be me that deals with it anyway. So I'm relatively accessible on all social media platforms, aren't I? I'm going to leave everybody on a positive note. Where we may not think that Posh are going to be successful, Charlie Newman is bringing the positivity. Oh my goodness, the 360 limbs cam on this, if this happened, would be unreal. I reckon there'd be some like serious bodies. I think I'd probably celebrate that one like I'd never celebrated a goal tomorrow. So fingers crossed for that. Fingers crossed for a Carl Johnson last minute screamer, and fingers crossed for a Peterborough United win double. Up the Poshcast.
Up the Poshcast.